Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. And in case you're wondering, well, let's just say, Jimmy Yorkshire, you know who you are, and you know what you said. Et voila. Anyway, for the rest of us, it's nice to see Nicola Sturgeon getting tied up. It is, and I use the line from the piece here, Mr. Sturgeon has been floundering. There's no place for that kind of humour. However, she has tried to make a difference between men and women after saying all along that there is no difference and we must respect them and, you know, we can't be binary. But then she's effectively said that there are, in fact, differences. Not so much between men and women in what she's claiming, but between trans men and trans women. They're not one and the same. And therefore men and women are different and therefore they should be treated differently. But that's not her agenda. And so she's been trying to talk her way out of the absolute pig's ear she's made of everything she's touched. Let's look at this article. So Nicola Sturgeon ties herself up in knots as she is grilled on trans offenders being put in women's prisons during brutal TV interview. She just cannot deal with the fact that what she wants to happen is not actually what's happening and is not what is actually going to ever happen, because her ideas are, and her ideals are, stupid. So Sturgeon floundered today as she was grilled like a kipper on trans offenders being put in women's prisons. The SNP leader struggled as she tried to explain her policy during an ITV interview, admitting that trans women will be differently treated to born women, and the toe curling it. So she's admitting that trans women are not the same as real women. And the toe curling exchange came as Scottish Tories called on Sturgeon to make a statement to Holyrood clarifying the utterly perverse situation. But she can't, because she knows that she has made such an awful job of everything that's, related to this, that whatever she says is going to be pounced on because she's stupid, she got it wrong, and she won't admit that. She's now saying that there's a difference between men who pretend to be women and women, which is not what she's been saying before. And she's saying that trans men, i.e. born women, who later want to identify as men, don't get put into men's prisons. So they're treating them differently. So trans is different if you're men or women. So you're not equal in the eyes of the law. You're not equal in the eyes of the judicial system in Scotland. And that's a very perverse way of running a legal system where you're not level, you're not equal, and you're treated differently. The issue was thrown into the spotlight last week when transgender double Rist of women, Isla Bryson, Adam Graham, 31, was remanded to a segregation unit at Cornton Vale Prison near Stirling. We have done many videos on this, and that, of course, is a women-only facility. And, of course, now he's being moved because it turns out that what with him being a big old fella with a penis, he's not actually a woman. Amid an outcry, the Scottish Prison Service, the SPS, then decided to move Bryson to another prison. And that is Edinburgh, but they've kept him in the ladies section, strangely, awaiting a move. It's very weird. The First Minister's concerns were apparently communicated to officials, although she insisted there was no formal direction given. And we know that that is a pile of horseshit, because she rules everything in Scotland like a dictator. Sturgeon had already been under heavy fire over a new gender identity law passed by Holyrood and blocked by Westminster, which would have reduced the age limit for changing gender and removed the need for medical diagnosis. During the interview, because all it was basically, to sum up, is you could wake up one morning and think, today I'll be a lady, and you are a lady, and in Scottish law you are a lady from that point, and you get treated as a woman. You can go into a female jail, you can go into female safe spaces, and you don't have to have an operation, you don't even have to have any kind of medical examination. It's dangerous. Anyway, during the interview, Miss Sturgeon was asked if she believed all trans women are women, and she has said before that this is the case, but she recognised that this would be a trap. She said, well, that's not the point that we're dealing with here, she blustered. No, and it's also not the answer to the question, because you dare not answer the question. Because if you say yes, then you're saying, why are you moving this trans man out? And if you say no, then it's, aren't you a bit of a hypocritical bitch? The answer, of course, to that question is yes. Pressed on the question, she said, trans women are women, but in the present context, there's no automatic right for trans women. Wait a minute. If trans women are women, then they're women, and therefore they have the automatic right that women have. Are you dim, or have you really, really screwed the pooch and got this law so completely fucked up that even you don't know what you're talking? It's going to be that, isn't it? Anyway, challenged on whether that meant there were contexts when a trans woman is not a woman, Sturgeon blustered. No, there is circumstances in which a trans woman will be housed in the male prison estate. But she said that a trans woman is a woman. So why are you putting a woman in the men's estate? Come on, Nicola, explain it. Don't bluster. Don't try and avoid the question. Answer the question, you stupid bint. Anyway, the ITV reporter then probed whether there were any context in which a woman born as a woman will be housed in the male estate. Look, we're talking here about trans women, Mrs. Sturgeon said. Pushed again to answer, the SNP chief said, I don't think there are circumstances there, but, in other words, they're treated differently. Asked whether that meant the rules are different for trans women, Sturgeon grudgingly said yes. She's admitted that trans women and women are not the same. Trans men and men are not the same. Despite years of saying, oh, trans women are women, trans men are men. And now, all of a sudden, they aren't, because she's seen the backlash. She's seen the rejection of everything she's been pushing. Miss Sturgeon was pressed further that her response implied trans women were not equal to born women. That is not. There is a risk assessment process done for trans women that takes account of the nature of the crime, she said. Not answering the question again. Cannot answer that question. Dare not answer the question. Coward. And not just morally coward, also aware that whatever answer she gives, she's wrong. And she fucking hates being wrong. Even though she is wrong at virtually every single thing she has done. She said, clearly significant concern arises out of sexual crime and whether it's appropriate for them to be in a female prison or a male prison. Hang on, you two-faced lying liar. You said trans women are women. And if that is what you truly believe, then you cannot put a trans woman into a male jail because he is now a she and she is entitled to go to a female prison. Your rules. Now, you've seen them rejected. You've seen the backlash. And you fucking hate it because you hate losing. And you know you're on a loser with this one. So you dare not answer this. You keep changing it. You keep broadsiding these questions. You keep moving, deflecting, answering completely different questions. You dare not answer the questions you're asked. Why? You're a moral coward and a piece of filth. In separate interviews, Sturgeon said the arrangements for dealing with transgender prisoners hasn't changed. That's a lie. They changed this weekend. And they've been in place for some time. Maybe they have. They were changed this weekend when they moved a man who was pretending to be a woman into a male jail, out of a female jail, because it's different. She said, the cases that have been in the media is in recent days, those risk assessments were underway. More lies than the tiny lying goblin. She says, there is no reason to assume that the outcome in both those cases would not have been that they should be in a man's prison. No, they should always have been in a man's prison because they're fucking men. I mean, that woman, she will never answer a straight question. She dare not answer a straight question because everything she does is evil. Everything she does is wrong. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm coming up. She is the world's worst liar. She knows she's lying. We know she's lying. She cannot help but lie because she cannot tell the truth. Nothing she ever does can bear being told as true because everything she does is just so awful and bad. The danger that she puts Scottish women in by having these men in jails, and she's tried to justify it time and time and time again. And now, finally, at the end, she's winding back on it because she realises the rejection. But she still cannot admit that she was wrong. Because Nicola is never wrong. Anyway, thanks for listening. If you like what you hear and see on the channel, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Ring that bell for notification of future output. Leave a like, leave a comment, please. Share the video. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, stay out of prison, and goodbye.